The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash,
A roundtable of Cowboys insiders
dropping wisdom
and offering sizzling takes
on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys.
Now, your host,
Newy Scruggs.
Media Mash, final Media Mash of the week, and we've got insiders here to help us out. Bobby Belt, 105.3 The Fan. Got Nick Harris, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Big Q in the house today. Quinnen Williams traded from the New York Jets, coming over here to the Dallas Cowboys. Knows nothing but losing since he's been with the Jets. He was a winner in college, played at Alabama, won a national championship. Nick, your thoughts now that we've had a little moment to digest the trade and Quinnen Williams talking today.
Yeah, people were talking about, some people that aren't really familiar with Quinnen Williams' game asking me, what exactly are the Cowboys getting? Is this just another, splash to do it? It's like, I think whenever the team was trying to communicate, what they were trying to communicate that Kenny Clark is what Quinnen Williams is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And whatever they were trying to sell for Kenny Clark, that is what Quinnen Williams is. He's a dominant run defender. He's a dominant pass rusher. He beats double teams more than any interior defensive lineman in the NFL since 2022. And he's rejoining with Cowboys defensive line coach Aaron Whitecotton, who he talked today. Both of them did. And Quinnen Williams credited his ascension in his career and rattling off 3 straight Pro Bowls to what Whitecotton was able to teach him. So I think it's a big add for this defensive line overall, and it's going to help that entire unit on defense, not only up front, but in that entire defense. When you have more one-on-one opportunities for guys like Dante Fowler, Donovan Ezeraku, even in interior, Kenny Clark and Osa Digizua, it's only going to help those guys get home to the quarterback. It's going to help that defense overall. This is a big win, in my opinion.
All right, stay right there for a second on what you just said. They allegedly talked to the Jets before they made the Micah Parsons trade to Green Bay.
Mm-hmm. Correct, yeah.
So Quinnen Williams had been on their radar. So how do we look at it now, Bobby Belt, that you have guy you wanted and Kenny Clark at defensive tackle?
Guy you wanted, Kenny Clark, first-round pick, or essentially swapping spots in the second for a first, which obviously gives you next year team control, and obviously the money. The money is very, very different. And so I think all those things together, that's when you start looking at it and saying, all right, this is probably closer to a return that fans would have wanted. Now, it's a lot of fans who were unhappy with it. They're not going to enjoy well, no, you can't make this leap and this leap and this leap. They're just not going to go for any sort of
Is that what
argument.
you're getting on 105.3 The Fan?
You get some of that, but I mean, still, in general, I think most people are universally. Everyone is excited Quinnen Williams is here. I haven't heard a fan say they're not happy he's here. Everybody's excited he's here. The question is just they're like, did I want to give up a first-round pick? Did I want to, sacrifice capital when we're trying to do these sort of things? But even still, mostly I'd say it's probably 70-30-ish is just they're happy with the deal no matter what it was. They wanted Quinnen Williams here. This is the best defensive tackle you've had here in 20 years.
Fans weren't upset about Mazi?
No, they were they were pretty happy.
Dirty work.
Yeah, look, I mean, you just watch the games. I think that it's something that people are generally excited about, and again, it's somebody who is the best defensive tackle you've had since Leroy Glover. Maybe Leon Lett. It's been a long time since you've had somebody who is as disruptive as he is. The Logan Wilson trade was already a good one, I thought. I think it's been way overblown by some of the analysts about what his level of play in Cincinnati was by the time he got benched. I don't think he's to the level he was a couple years ago, but I think there's also politics involved in Cincinnati, and he wanted out because I think it's clear when you watch the tape in Cincinnati, those linebackers that he was playing with were nowhere near the level he was playing at. He was playing better.
And he was acquired for nothing.
Yeah, and so I think that trade, which was already good, was made even better by Quinnen Williams, who's going to keep him clean and is going to be able to disrupt things in the pass rush. And he's going to be asked to do different things with the Cowboys than he was asked to do with the Jets this year. He's going to be asked to do some of the things that Aaron Whitecotton had him do, and that led to him being such a disruptive pass rusher. So to me, I think that this is a legitimate game changer for their defense.
I didn't have any concerns about the first-round pick. It was more about the second-round pick. You knew it was going to cost a first for Quinnen Williams if you were going to get involved there. I think somebody on 105 through the fan asked me yesterday, what would be the compensation for Quinnen Williams? I was like, probably a first and an early day 3. see a first and a second come across the board, and not only a first, but the higher of the 2 and 27, you hope it pans out. You better hope it pans out. Not only that, but you have to hit on these 2026 draft picks now. You have to hit on those because you don't have a 2, you don't have a 3, you only have 5 picks next year. You have to hit on those 2 first round.
You did trade a first round pick though 2 years away, which is generally viewed as a round later. So in theory, the Cowboys across the league, the thought may be more you gave up 2 seconds for Quinnen Williams.
Okay, so this is how I think of it, and I heard another show talk about it. So, 2026, your draft, your first round pick, Green Bay's first round pick. Your second pick is Quinnen Williams. Your third round pick is George Pickens.
Assuming he is re-signed, yes. Then I can live with that.
And then so is your first round pick the next year is also Quinnen Williams, and your 5th round pick the next year is also George Pickens. I can live with that. I'm just saying they have invested so much draft capital into some of these guys over the course of the last 7 months that it has made it even more imperative to hit on these draft picks that they do have.
Right, you got no choice. An old business philosopher used to say, if you don't plant in the spring, you will beg in the fall. Jerry's sitting there begging at the trade deadline. And so, yes, you're paying higher prices. And some of this stuff, had you moved Parsons in the spring and done some of these things you need to, been better in free agency, you wouldn't be here where you are now. But this is what happens when you wait this late and you're hard up, you're begging. And the Jets were able to raise the price. Well, you wanted them before. How bad do you want it? They all knew what Mingo got. They knew what Lance got. I mean, let's be honest. If you're dealing, hey, what else, Jared? You're 82 years old. Well, how bad do you want?
Do you think it was the Cowboys or the Jets that put Mazi Smith on the table?
I would hope the Cowboys. I would hope the Cowboys did. For the standpoint, hey, man.
Like the deal is done, is be like, hey, we got this guy.
Since you're losing Quinnen, go ahead. Here's a guy. He probably fits what you can do.
It could have been 2 firsts.
Man,
we've done it. We've done a disservice to this guy. But you can.
We asked Jerry on Tuesday before the trade deadline. The one question we asked that was not trade deadline related or not game related was, do you think Mazi Smith can still become the guy that you drafted him to be? And Jerry's like, oh yeah. It's like you're trying to get rid of that used car. You're not going to talk about the rattling muffler. Anything else. It is. I respect. I chuckled and I was like, I see. There's the play. That was good. It is though.
Steven, you taped the bumper back on, right? With the gray duct tape so they can't see it.
It's aftermarket, but it's fine. I think that it's really good though that they did make the move for Pickens. They did make the move for Quinnen Williams. They did make the move for Logan Wilson, because as good as this scouting department has been and as good as Will McClay's staff has been, it is an inevitability that you will have a class or two that eventually will just bust. It happens. It's the numbers. And there's been so much pressure on Will McClay's department to supply with nothing coming from the outside that I think it's good that now there is a little bit of like, all right, here's some pressure off this. Yeah, we got this. This is addressed. Yeah, I think that's good, because there was, I think last offseason, there was a lot of pressure to restock. It's like, I don't know if we have enough picks. And when you have that inevitable miss class, then what happens is you really set yourself back when you're not willing to add through free agency or trade. So I think it's good that the Cowboys are saying, let's play in these waters a little bit and supplement here.
They've been done in by these second-round defensive ends that haven't lived up to it. Lattimore, Williams, these guys have not been what you thought they were going to be when you used second-round picks on them. So,
considering how bad that this team needed a defensive tackle in 2023, and then now considering all of the investments that they've made toward rehauling that position group, is Mazi Smith one of the worst draft picks in team history?
He's going to be up there. He finished his career here with the same amount of defensive holding calls that he had sacks.
Yeah, that's bad. And he has the second least amount of games played of any first round pick by this franchise since 1986. And Taco Charlton was the other one. I think, if you had drafted a competent defensive tackle in 2023 in that first round, not only are you able to stop the run better in 23, which was the crux of that team and arguably the crux of what ended up losing them that game against the Packers, but you have consistency throughout these last couple of years. Let's say they still wanted to trade Micah Parsons before the year, you could have traded it for anything else, instead of having to be so married to finding defensive tackle.
And so that, to me, Nick, was one of my frustrations of watching this team draft the last few years is, You didn't, and even in free agency, you knew you got a problem up front. Everybody knew if you want to beat the Cowboys, run on them. They can't stop the run. Vic Fangio, when he was coaching the Broncos, came in here and said, hey, here's the blueprint. And you know what? Those who used it, even when they were making the playoffs, those were the issues where you saw how you could beat the Cowboys. Run on them. And they never fixed it. And then for them to come up here and just say, well, we got Mazi. And also Diggy is a good football player. I think he's going to be a better football player playing with a Quinnen Williams and playing with a Kenny Clark. I think about you're young. Tony Casillas.
Yeah.
Tony Casillas was taken second overall out of Oklahoma by the Atlanta Falcons. It didn't work out for him in Atlanta. He came down here with the rotation of guys he had, and Tony had a heck of a good football career. Mm-hmm. And sometimes some guys, they're good, but boy, you put them in a rotation of other really good guys, they can be a great unit. And obviously, Tony's got a bunch of Super Bowl rings, and I think also Diggy Zua kind of fits in there. By himself, just that guy? Nah. But you put him in here with a Quinnen Williams and a Kenny Clark, then maybe with some one-on-one coverage, stuff like that, he can get loose out here and help you out.
He needs to be a Robin, and we saw that over the course of 22,
Justice
23,
League, baby.
Yeah, there's nothing
Justice
wrong with
League.
that at all. There's a reason he's in the title. 22, 23, 24, what he was able to do as far as beating double teams and helping open things up for Micah Parsons, who in that case was the Batman. I think there's a similar trajectory. I like that.
You have the two players now. It's Osa and it's Quinnen Williams. You have the two players who have generated the most pressures against double teams in the NFL over the last 3 years. And so, I mean, even Osa's had some success there. This year has not been up to Osa's standard. I think he would tell you that. It's not been what they wanted it to be. I think that, though, this is a big enough game changer. And look, I'll be honest, last year, picked the Cowboys to go 7-10. This year before the season, I picked them to go 7-10. I think this is a big enough move. These two are that I don't know that they lose more than 2 games the rest of the way.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're talking about knocking on the door of the playoffs.
I think if Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson are here from the start of the season, this team's 6-3 right now. I don't think they lose to Carolina. I don't think they tie with Green Bay. I don't think they lose that game to Philly. I don't think that Jalen Hurts is able to just run all over them.
If I stop eating, I'd look like Ronnie Coleman.
Go for it. Let's go for it. Let's get into it.
You look at this schedule, the rest.
Let's get into
it. Raiders.
Win.
Dub.
Okay.
And we're speaking from an optimist view here, I think.
Eagles.
Dub.
4 days later, Kansas City.
You would hope to split the next two, because that's going to be the tough.
You need to go 2-1 in the next 3 after Vegas. You have to.
So after the Chiefs, you don't even get the full 10 days. Mm-hmm. A week later, at Detroit.
Yep.
10 days off, you get Minnesota on NBC, Sunday Night Football. Then you get the Chargers at home.
Yep.
Then turn around, 4 days later, go to Washington Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. And then the final game is at the Meadowlands.
It's doable. I see your path.
I don't think 6-2 is impossible. And here's the thing is that you have been able to pick your poison. Let's run on them. Let's throw on them. What you've done now, they've needed one stop so many times. What you've done now is you've taken away the run game as a just obvious effective tool. You are going to put teams into more predictable passing situations. It's going to allow the Cowboys to kind of pin their ears back, rush a little bit, earn that opportunity to rush like the guys always talk about. Okay. You're going to naturally force some 3rd and longs. You're naturally going to force some additional turnovers now that aren't going to be there. I'm not even saying that the secondary will be as any better. There's no telling if they will be, but you're going to force more mistakes naturally, and you're not going to allow teams like they are this year so far to be 18 for 18 on 3rd and 1 situations. You're going to get stops on 3rd and 1 you didn't have already, and that's going to flip games.
DeMarvion Overshown's coming back too.
And DeMarvion Overshown, whether his knee is ready to play or not, the thing I keep saying is that he is going to help this team naturally by being out there and saying, you need to be here. You need him directing traffic, and some of his pre-snap identification is going to be a big part of him even being back on the field will be his brain.
Knee or not, I think he's the second best linebacker on this
100%
team if he's playing at his worst.
Yeah, second best linebacker on the team. I think he is the number 1 on that defense in terms of pre-snap diagnosis. And that's going to help them just in communication right there.
So if Kenneth Murray loses his mic responsibilities, would you put Green down on Logan Wilson or DeMarvion Overshown then?
I would put it on probably Overshown, because Overshown's just been here for the entirety of the offseason and has sat in meetings and has a better understanding, I would guess.
Well, they made a move at the trade deadline. 2 players are coming in here. The schedule is already the hardest in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And right now, it's a challenge. But they got a bye week. They got a bye week. Quentin Williams is going to go 22 days without playing.
The double bye, the Amari Cooper double bye.
So in some ways, as a defensive lineman, maybe that's good for your body. You get healed up a little bit and have this kind of rest. But
Double teams hurt, man.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. All right, when we come back, an NBA player called Dak Prescott a bum. Let's dive into that next. Get reaction from Nick and Bobby. I'm Newy. This is the Media Mash.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. That, along with all our other favorite Tyson Foods products, sure make game day special. Score some delicious Tyson Cowboys Nuggets and become a game day star, just like our Cowboys. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
Cowboys fans, SeatGeek is the only primary ticketing partner of America's team and here to help you experience all the action this season. SeatGeek makes it easy to find the perfect seats to the perfect game, so you can be part of all the touchdown celebrations and momentum-shifting takeaways this season. Whether you're getting tickets to Cowboys games or to any other live event in DFW, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SeatGeek.
Look, school is starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16. It is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Back to Media Mash.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days presented by SeatGeek. Join the Cowboys as they honor veterans in partnership with the Wounded Warrior Project on Saturday, November 22nd. Compete in ROTC relay races, shop veteran-owned vendors, and enjoy a performance by KCK in the KCK booth. Who's that? Lacey K. Booth. All right, my bad. Lacey K. Booth. Meet the Dallas Cowboys
run this back.
cheerleaders.
I was going to say, you're about to give a long distance request?
You know how many people don't know what you just talked about? Get tickets now, Rally Days, AT&T Stadium.com/Rally Days.
Here's what he writes.
You know, Bobby, many years ago, got a long distance dedication. You have no clue. Who
No, absolutely not. This is another instance of Nick being too young.
Did you ever watch Scooby-Doo as a kid?
I watched the live action Scooby-Doo's.
Okay, no. Okay.
The voice of Shaggy, Casey Kasem.
Okay.
Former American Top 40 Ryan Seacrest countdown show he does. It was originally Casey Kasem.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he used to do long distance dedications.
It's long distance dedication.
All right. Noted. Radio
Right,
heads
educating the youth, Newy.
Radiohead's over here, making me one myself.
Star Search?
I know, Star Search.
Star Search? Ed McMahon?
No, I haven't started my draft scouting.
You know what? Go YouTube Star Search Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
He finished second.
Okay.
So he lost. He lost Star Search. And then because he lost Star Search, he ended up going and doing the Disney, the Mickey Mouse Club, went over there and,
Justin Timberlake did the Mickey Mouse Club?
Mm-hmm. With Britney Spears and Ryan Gosling and Christina Aguilera. They were all like 10 years old. Mm-hmm. We're really giving you an education, and I'm sure everyone else in the comments too right now.
You know it's a bad group when Christina Aguilera is the most mentally stable one that made it out of there.
You sure? That's another week. That's another day. Just saying. All right, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. This is Media Mash.
Now we
Bobby
are.
Belt here. 105.3 The Fan. Nick Harris, 4-star talker. You know, we gotta have some fun with this. I mean, look, people they like music and other stuff too. So we love the Cowboys, but in the NFL, but we gotta have some fun.
Jordan Sparks' dad led this team in interceptions not that long ago.
Yes, he did.
That's how Darren Woodson was discovered. They were going to Philippi Sparks' pro day, and they went, there's a linebacker here who runs 4.2.
Nice.
Arizona State's own. Yes, Darren Woodson. Boy, I hope he can get in the Hall of Fame, man. I do. I think Woody's. There are always a bunch of great players, and Woody and what he did is a heck of a football talent, man. All right, so Draymond Green decides to go on Jordan Schultz's podcast, his platform, and called Dak Prescott a bum. The Cowboys aren't going to win with him. And yeah, look, and I talked about this on the Players Lounge. When did it get to the point where athletes so insult other athletes, former athletes, current? I mean, you talk about some dirty work that people just throwing out there. A lot of, and I hear from Draymond Green. You know, I'm like, wow,
So unlikely.
bum.
He knows better than that.
We've seen bum quarterbacks. You may not like his winning and whatnot, but Dak Prescott's not a bum. Guy finished second in the league 2 years ago, MVP.
Yeah.
Draymond's never done that.
Been a top 5 candidate this year.
You know, I mean, Draymond's never done that. I mean, bum, come on. You can say all day long, hey, he's not going to win or whatnot, but bum, wow.
No, Draymond has been closer to being a bum the last 2 years. What's the nickname Charles has for him? Triple single?
Yeah.
Draymond has been blessed by playing with Splash Brothers, playing for Steve Kerr, playing for one of the great organizations we've seen in the last 20 years.
And they, to be clear, they were blessed to have him. He was a legitimately ridiculous defensive superstar for a number of years.
But I don't understand just the blatant disrespect that so many guys who want to jump in front of these microphones have when they've played at the highest level. I mean, it's James Jones last year claiming Dak Prescott wasn't hurt. I've had a hamstring injury. That guy, he want to play, let his team down. And, you know, then it's ripped off the bone. And then the next day, Acho sets him up to try, you know what, if we said it, we're going to go ahead and apologize for it. And James Jones tries to jump on. Like, nah, dude, give it that same intensity. But I'm just thinking to myself you're a football player, so you automatically know every injury is different. Mm-hmm. Every injury is different. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm almost, what about you guys? I almost hate some of these pregame shows that have nothing but a bunch of players on there because it seems as though trying to run other people down is the modus operandi.
Yeah. I think it was George Gervin recently who had gotten asked about something about LeBron or something. He was like, oh no, I couldn't hang. I'm like, really? And he's like, no. He's like, look, I had my day. He's like, our guys had our day. Like, you don't have to just tear down the current generation to lift your own up. Like it can all just exist where it does. And in this particular instance, Draymond is a provocateur and he likes to push buttons, and that has been his career. That has been his media personality. I'm glad he's using his words now and not his fists. That's a positive right there. But I think that Dak in general, forget just with Draymond, Dak in general is the most polarizing of athletes that get discussed. And a lot of times just in general, the Cowboys quarterback is, and will naturally engender the most intense, aggressive reactions and opinions that exist. Whether if he plays good, it's usually he played great. If he plays subpar, it's he played awful. There's really no in between. In terms of the rhetoric, of course.
And so I think about, another quarterback out there who ended up passing Dak Prescott in terms of, when Dak got the $40 million, he was the highest paid guy in the league, and this guy surpassed it, he's making significantly more money. And they gave him the contract, and they said, we got to put a study clause in here because we kind of don't trust you. And, some people say he got one particular coach fired. And, I look at other guys and they say, look around this league and some of these dudes signing deals.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz. Okay, we just saw Carson Wentz a couple years ago with Minnesota. I remember when Philadelphia would play Dallas, and the NBC Philadelphia would call me Comcast. They'd always call Dak versus Carson Wentz, and man, they were all in on Carson. They ran the man out of town. Here it is, Dak Prescott still here, still playing, and still being productive. So I do shake my head when I hear something from Draymond Green like that. It was the equivalent of Shady McCoy calling Dak ASS. And it's like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I think it's not just, even if Dak wouldn't have finished second in MVP in 2023, and this is honestly something that this very fan base has struggled with at times. The standard has been so high here for what a Cowboys quarterback is supposed to accomplish, rightfully so. There have been a lot of people who laid foundation for what this is supposed to mean and what it's supposed to do. That I think it has caused an insanity almost of just how to critique individual play in a moment. Like, we're not talking about their successes or their legacy or anything else. Like the discussion of like, he's been anything other than, and I don't care, you can look at any metric you want and they'll be out there, that he's been anything really other than basically a top 10 quarterback from 2016 to now, other than a year or two where injuries or something else happened. I think that's impossible to find.
Then why doesn't Jordan Love get that same type of criticism?
Because he's in Green Bay.
Yeah,
this is the Dallas Cowboys.
That's a big part of it, and they've had, I guess, when you take in the pound for pound winning that they've had since he started in his career, it's a little bit higher than winning percentage.
Because the last two quarterbacks in that franchise history, Brett's already in the Hall of Fame, Brett Favre for Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers is going there with the multiple MVPs that both of those guys won. Each of them got a ring, and I asked that question because you don't hear the criticism from George from fans or even the media like that. You can say it's Green Bay, but Green Bay's this is a popular franchise. Yeah. We see they got fans everywhere. This isn't this ain't Cincinnati or Cleveland.
I think it's also easy to say that those two quarterbacks that came before Jordan Love didn't fulfill expectations. One ring for those two guys is, I feel like, coming below expectation.
Ooh, I'll disagree. I mean,
those teams with those quarterbacks, that many years that they had it to only get 2 total rings out of that.
I think Brett should maybe get more of a pass than Aaron. Aaron, like, not just one ring, one appearance.
Yeah,
like one appearance. That's tough for the high level that he had played at. Now you got to remember coaching goes into that too, and so you just in general, and that's a discussion.
All right, so here I come back to this. Who was the first pick in that draft? It was picked that coach picked over Aaron Rodgers.
That would be Alex Smith.
Tell me what he did in his career.
Which coach picked that? Mike Nolan?
No, McCarthy.
Oh yeah, because he was the offensive coordinator in San Francisco. That's right. So what was the question again?
Okay, we look at Alex's career.
Yeah.
And you look at Aaron Rodgers, who fell all the way down 24.
Yep.
I mean, so where Aaron was picked.
But you remember? I remember listening to KESN and hearing the discussions about what could happen in the draft and things like that. And I remember listening to Goodfellas with Newy Scruggs. And I remember the discussion was whoever didn't go 1, if Aaron Rodgers went 1, Alex Smith was probably going to fall.
Yes.
And so that was also just a state of where kind of I think teams were in terms of how they viewed the quarterback and who needed one at that time.
But at the time, Aaron Rodgers is the guy that fell and Jerry passed on him.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who passed on him twice, but he was out there. So you take over for Brett Favre. Definitely the first year, if not the first 2 years, was a struggle. And
it's a tremendous story from draft to completion. From when it was established who he was, though, it was a disappointment in terms of success.
I just think about how hard it is, man. And I think about guys I've been around who were number 1 picks. Vinny Testaverde. And Vinny played a long time, but it's hard, man. It's hard. It's just really, really hard.
Look, I mean, if Dak never wins a Super Bowl, or Romo, who didn't win a Super Bowl, they were successes for where they were picked. There's no doubt about it. But when you're at the top, the expectation standard is you need to do this.
He wasn't at the top.
Right. No, but I'm saying if you're at the top, like for instance, I think the expectation for somebody like Romo would have been different,
Right.
where they say Romo should have made an NFC title game, or Romo should have made a Super Bowl before we'd be willing to give him this. Aaron, you got to remember, Aaron is being talked about in the discussion of Manning, Brady. That's where he's being talked about in, and so for him to be the outlier that didn't have multiple appearances, that's a little interesting. But again, coaching matters in this league too.
I Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody loves his head coach.
Do they? Is Dak a Ring of Honor guy?
No.
So Romo's not.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. I'm just throwing the
Tank
question.
is not. No. Ring, jacket.
Where?
Where is a Ring of
He's
Honor?
already in.
No, I'm like that's what I'm saying.
Where deserves one?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
honestly, this is
But DeMarcus Ware's in.
the Cowboys have done.
No, I'm saying does he deserve it? He didn't have the ring. I mean, he had the ring in Denver.
And that was their fault.
There was
They messed that up, but he's in the Hall of Fame.
There was a thought.
Jacket, ring. One of the two. Jacket, ring.
There was a thought from a lot of people that when Jerry's guys came up from the 90s, he was just going to walk the whole team in, basically. This has still been kept pretty exclusive compared to other teams around the league.
Absolutely.
The only guy up there in your Ring of Honor from the offensive line unit is Larry Allen. Nate Newton's not up there.
Eric Williams
isn't up there. Mark Tuane's not up there. So, I mean, they have been, so I think, as of right now, I don't think Jerry or the Jones family is going to put a quarterback up there who doesn't win them a Super Bowl.
Harvey Martin is not there.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl MVP. Led the league one year, 23 sacks, defensive player of the year. He's not there. In any other organization, his name is up there. I still hold the Ring of Honor to be exclusive. Barring jacket or ring, the way they have done this since Don Perkins, that's the requirement.
Yeah.
So Jason Witten will get a jacket. Zach Martin will get a jacket.
Tyron Smith.
Tyron Smith will be in the conversation and probably should get a jacket, in my opinion. So
now the Cowboys have been known, I think, to use it as if somebody's on the cusp of the Hall of Fame and it comes up in those meeting rooms of, his own team doesn't have him up there. Why should we? The Cowboys have been known, I think, to go, here's that piece then. If that's what you're saying is holding them back, here it is. And I think they did that with Drew Pearson.
So Drew, in talking to Drew, Tex Schramm had him on the list to go in, but then got fired. So he was in the queue to go. Tex didn't do it, and then when Jerry came in, that happened, and I don't know if something was said by Drew that Jerry didn't like. That's been something that's kind of been thrown out there. So, but he was there, and oh, by the way, Drew Pearson, Super Bowl winner, first team, all decade, 1970s. It's legitimate. It's there. Some of these guys you talk about, where are they at in their careers? Forget what they did for the Cowboys. When we look back over the league, what did you do? Were you an elite player in the National Football League during your time? Rick Gosselin once told me, he says, especially talking about first ballot guys. So if a guy's a first ballot guy, we should just say your name and sit down. Oh, I present Peyton Manning. Sit down.
Mm-hmm.
We should have to discuss it.
Yeah.
We should talk about it.
Yeah.
And to me, I look at the Ring of Honor in that same way. We shouldn't have to discuss it. We shouldn't have to even debate it. You should be, oh, yeah. Zach Martin. Oh, yeah.
Wooden.
Right. And, yeah, so Dak, no. Especially since you are talking, what's the standard here? At some point in time, the standard needs to be
not yet. Dak, not yet.
Okay.
No. I'm saying, when we say Dak, obviously it's like story's not finished. If something if there's something over the course of his career where he ends a drought, that changes discussion.
And where you're going there and where I saw it and all of us saw it was Dirk Nowitzki. Yeah, we saw it over time. Like, man, that's the guy. That is the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And greatest Maverick of all time. But there was a question mark, especially after 06. 06, go to the finals. They choked that away. And then 07, you go ahead and get the best record in the league. You win the MVP, get put out in the first round. There were people like, oh my gosh, what's it with this dude? Should you trade him? But it was there. And so Dak Prescott has that opportunity. And I don't think it happens this year.
Yeah.
But if these pieces that they made trades for, and they can figure out what to do and spend an offseason trying to fix this defense and sign a George Pickens, who knows what they could be next year.
Bobby mentioned Charles Barkley a moment ago, and if I could, I want you to imagine Charles Barkley's face right now, okay? Can we do that? Can we do that for a moment?
I'm super happy to be a part of this. I'm super happy to be a part of this defensive line group that's super loaded and super talented with Kenny Clark and O and Dante Collin and Coach Aaron. Man, it is unbelievable to go to work with those guys. Man.
They're both from Birmingham, Alabama.
It's closer than I would have thought if you just had told me it.
Yep.
Hearing it, I hear it more.
Hey, I noticed it more when he said Kenny Clark, because he was like, Kenny Clark. Because of Kenny Smith.
Leeds, Alabama. My dad, my uncle, they remembered, because they're from Birmingham. They grew up, they remembered Charles's mom and young Charles. So let's go take our final break. We got Nick Harris, got Bobby Bell, and Newy Scruggs. It's Media Mash on DallasCowboys.com.
How about them Cowboys? Or how about them Tyson Cowboys Nuggets? As we cheer for the stars on the field, we love that we've also got some stars on our plate, thanks to Tyson brand star-shaped Cowboys Nuggets. That, along with all our other favorite Tyson Foods products, sure make game day special. Score some delicious Tyson Cowboys Nuggets and become a game day star, just like our Cowboys. As you enjoy your stars on and off the plate, remember, tailgates and game day have always been Tyson.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Look, school is starting, and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Back to Media Mash.
Tostitos team bags are back, and you can get the official chip of the Dallas Cowboys at your local store, available for a limited time. Scan the QR code or visit FritoLayExperiences.com for a chance to win epic experiences all season long. One lucky Cowboys fan will win an epic game day experience and get to be a part of the Cowboys Thanksgiving Day traditions, courtesy of Tostitos. All right, that's Bobby Belt, 105.3 The Fan. Got Nick Harris of the Fort Worth Star Telegram and Newy Scruggs. This is Media Mash. All right, guys. What's the biggest thing that needs to get right come the Raider game when the Cowboys get off the bye? Did you say, hey, man, I need to see this?
The secondary needs to play better. If the secondary can play better, I feel good about your 6-2 prediction. I do. The secondary is the biggest question remaining on this team because you've shored up that defensive front. You're getting two linebackers that are more athletic than what you've had throughout the season that should be able to handle those zone coverage responsibilities better. They should be able to fit run gaps better than what your group has given you so far this season, Kenneth Murray. The secondary has to play better. Has to.
Yeah, that's number one. They cannot have, we've talked about it, almost every single touchdown given up this year has led to someone going,
yep,
putting their hands up and turning around and looking around of like, why weren't you doing what you're doing? Why weren't you doing what you're doing?
Orlando Scandrick moment?
There's no, that one was a little more like, God, why? It felt like with Mike Williams dancing behind him for the Chargers. But no, this is a lot of just confusion. There needs to be a whole lot less confusion. And look, Matt Eberflus's history is as a linebackers coach. Matt Eberflus has said that the most important position in his scheme is the 3-technique defensive tackle. You got a 3-technique, you're getting two linebackers back. I think this is also, all right, Now go make this work.
Yeah.
These are the pieces you need to go make it work. And so I think that that's a big thing. And then on the other side, your right tackle needs to that position needs to kind of settle in. That's getting to be a problem. It still doesn't look technically clean. I like how Tyler Guyton is battling right now, and he's gotten the job done in games where it didn't start off pretty. So Guyton, I have some hope for. The right tackle spot needs to be better more consistently.
By the way, your 6-2 prediction for the Cowboys after the bye would mean they would be 9-7-1.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to get them in?
Probably not. You probably, in order to get into the playoffs, it can only lose one game, I would guess.
In essence, you would have the tiebreaker over all of the other 9-win teams. So you're not
going to tie with them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like you would be over all the 9-win teams, but you'd be below all the 10-win teams, obviously. So do you get the extra spot this year? I don't know. With the way the league has gone, it feels like every other year a 9-win team sneaks in. I think with the way the NFC is trending right now, I think you need 10.
NFC North and West both have too many teams that look like they're going to be above 500.
And I was going to say, the problem you've got there, you start to look at the losses. So Philadelphia, NFC loss. Bears, NFC loss. Packers, tie. Carolina Panthers, NFC loss. Arizona, NFC loss. So, right there in your division, you've got teams that may be right there, okay, let's say Tampa wins the division. The Panthers could be that second-place team that's sitting around up there. You still got to face, Detroit.
Detroit has the last spot right now.
Who knows what happens between Detroit and Green Bay. So, there's just a lot of stuff where they put themselves behind the 8 ball with some of these critical losses to teams that they may be looking up at the end of the year. And so, yeah.
Yeah, if you steal Carolina, or not steal, if you win the Carolina game, you're supposed to. If you flip the Arizona game, you felt like you're supposed to win. If you flip one of those games, 4-4-1 with 8 to play feels like a more manageable trek than the one you're looking at right now. You have very thin margins for error the rest of the way.
I have no hopium. It's just too late. You don't plant in the spring, you beg in the fall. They're begging right now, and you're going to need a whole lot of stuff to go your way. But go out, just at least try to set the foundation for going into next year.
Yeah. If it's 6-2 down the stretch or better, though, I want you to remember when we roll around to January.
If they go 6-2 down the stretch, it feels like when the Lions went 6-0 to finish and finished like 7-9 a few years back.
Or it maybe feels like when the Cowboys were 3-5 and they went 7-1 down the stretch to win the division.
Okay, Jason Garrett,
Amari Cooper. I'm saying Quinnen Williams is defensive Amari Cooper for you this year.
Can he have that much of an impact?
I think he completely. Even at his, I think he completely changes the way that that offenses try to attack you, which then changes the way you can attack offenses.
I agree, but I still think the secondary is too bad.
Schedule: Raiders, Eagles.
Do y'all agree?
Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders.
Do y'all agree that Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson flip those 3 games, or at least 2 of them? Yeah, it flips Carolina and Green Bay.
Yeah. You probably don't have to buckle up against Rico.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Or RJ over there, Harvey. You probably don't have to.
I just watched tape of Quinnen Williams wrecking shop against the Panthers run game.
Yeah.
And so I know what he did against them.
Waited too late. Probably could have.
But I'm saying down the stretch, those games that you could have been 6-3. So I don't think 6-2 is too far gone.
Bobby, I enjoyed my conversations with you.
Thank you.
Man, have a good one.
You too.
Oh, man, I love you. Bro.
Love you too.
This is our final media mash of the week.
Goodbye for a goodbye.
And next week I'm gone, so you guys have fun.
Next week you're gone.
Yes, I'll talk to you guys after the Raiders.
Where are you going?
Game. Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, getting a little early, having some fun.
Sean's gonna be there too.
Who is?
Sean. You guys should catch up.
I'm not on Sean's level. Sean never outside of.
Sean's going for BravoCon.
What? Like the TV channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like Real Housewives are all going to be there?
Yeah, it's like a reality show convention.
So when I did NBC Sports Radio, we used to have an interview every week because we had NASCAR, and we get Kyle Petty. Kyle Petty did not like sports. Only sport he liked was NASCAR. So there's 2 things that he would talk about: NASCAR and Bravo TV. So this dude starts telling me about the Shaws of Sunset and all these different housewife shows. And he was legitimately like into it, knew it. You need to watch. I mean, and he said, "You'd be surprised how many guys in the garage watch too." No,
Richard Petty's like, this damn kid.
That's why Richard won 200 races.
It's why he never won nothing.
That part.
Kyle, you could have 200 if you wouldn't have been watching Bravo.
Bravo Con. Yeah, you could tell all these married dudes getting sucked into that. Great. All right.
Why don't you watch some ESPN like a real man?
Bob, Nick, Bobby, Dewey, thank you for watching. For Chris Beam and everybody else, DallasCowboys.com. Be safe.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!